Okay, now let's get to the crunch of it, right? Why do people read slowly? Well, there are lots of reasons, but there are basically 5 that I could immediately think of. Number 1 is we all tend to sub-vocalize. In other words, we are reading words, we're not reading ideas. So when you read something, you tend to say it in your lip. Now the problem with that is when you read by the word, your tongue, your mouth moves very slowly, your eyes move faster, but your mind moves even faster. So because of that, your eyes tend to drift and your mind tends to wander. And what happens was, after a while, you have read so slowly but you have lost the plot, you go back and reread it. And in speed reading we call it back skipping. You go back and back skip to say what did I just miss, and you go back and read because you are reading words, you're not reading ideas, right? And because you are back skipping, your eyes as well as your mind tends to stray, and while you are reading this, you're thinking about the shopping you need to do tomorrow or the list that you promised to get home for your wife or mother. And because of that, you also cannot vary, so you cannot vary your speed. Now the other reason why people read slowly is because we don't pace ourselves, we don't make ourselves read faster, right? And overall, people who are poor readers lack confidence, so they tend to want to reread everything, thinking that they must remember every word and every figure. Nobody says, you've read the article, okay, what's on paragraph 5, line 3, word number 2. It's not like that. You read for an idea, you read for a whole idea. Okay? So how do you read faster? It's really very easy, and I could show that to you in 3 minutes. Just that you know, I used to be a very slow reader. I probably read 150 words per minute, and I was quite frustrated. Today, on a weekend, if I'm not interrupted, I could read 2,000 to 5,000 words per minute with good comprehension, right? It takes a lot of practice, but you can learn it in 3 minutes. Then it's just practice. The first thing you do when you want to read faster is relax. If you are tensed, if your mind is on something else, you're going to be a very inefficient reader. Number 2, be confident. Just believe that you have the ability, that you just need to see it once and it's in your head. Number 3, have a very clear objective. Tell yourself, I'm going to read this without interruption, and I'm going to read the whole thing and understand it give yourself a time. I'm going to read a book a week. I'm going to read a magazine by this weekend. I'm going to take the kids swimming and read The Economist while I wait. But you're going to be very specific about it, right? Make sure, if you're going to read fast, make sure there's no distraction. Actually, reading is like driving on a highway. Actually, when you drive on a highway, when are you more alert? Is it when you are driving fast or when you're driving slowly? Always when you're driving faster, you're more alert. You're more likely to sleep on the wheel if you're driving slowly, right? And you are going to drive very fast, you don't want to be distracted. So when you're driving very fast, you don't want the kids making noise in the back, you don't want, you don't be eating something, you're fully focused, putting all your attention on one thing, right? Now, then we all need a pacer, because remember I told you earlier, the eyes tends to wander, the mind tends to wander, so you need a pacer. Now, some reading courses give you a pacer to carry around, right? A ruler, a pen, a pencil. I say use your finger, because with the finger, you never forget where you left it, right? And then to avoid sub-vocalization, just bite your tongue and read, or chew some gum and read. And then, like everything else, you got to practice, practice and practice and make it perfect. Okay? Let me take you through one reading session. Now, the most important thing is when you read, tend to look at the big picture, tend to look at the bigger image, tend to catch as many words as you can. Make it a game. Catch as many words as you can and read chunks of words, not one word by word. When you read block by block, you tend to forget what the earlier blocks were and you go back to that block. And so you are in a little bit of a back skipping mode, and you actually become a very, very inefficient reader.